If you're buying items from the Warframe in-game market, chances are you are burning money, and a lot of it. Because even though Warframe's monetization policy is very fair, and I wish more free-to-play games would take some inspiration from it, there are still offers being sold on the market that are such bad deals, your wallet is gonna cry from just looking at them. So in this Warframe guide, we're gonna expose these items and look at how you can save up to 90% of your hard-earned money when shopping in Warframe. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. Starting out with one thing that we all at least consider at some point: buying a weapon or Warframe directly for Platinum because the farm is just too tedious. I'm looking at you, Harrow. Believe me, I've been there too, which is why I don't want to completely discourage you from ever doing that, but if you're not smart about it, you're still running the risk of losing money. Here's what I mean. Warframe, like many other games, allows for trade between players, making the in-game market not the only place to gear up. However, Warframe sadly does not have any sort of built-in auction house, so the best and most convenient way to trade would be the independent website called Warframe.market. Maybe you already heard about it at some point. This website works just like an auction house from a traditional MMO. You can see the listed sales offers and prices for all tradable goods in the game, as well as who's currently online selling them. Why am I telling you all of this? Because if you're intending to buy a weapon or a Warframe for Platinum, then first check if that specific one has a Prime variant already. If a Prime variant exists, then you can buy that on Warframe.market. And even though it sounds counterintuitive, a Prime on Warframe.market might be way cheaper than purchasing the objectively inferior normal version in-game. And in many cases, that even holds true after considering build time, resource cost, the required inventory slot, as well as the price of an Orokin catalyst or reactor. So always double check Warframe.market before buying in-game. Not only will it save you some Platinum, but you'll also be able to get the exact version of what you want in, well, better. And we all like better, don't we? Speaking of like, we YouTubers usually ask you to like our videos so the algorithm spreads them to more people. However, today, it won't just help me out if you do that. Today, it also means more people can see this video and save on their money. So even bigger time shout out for your support. Back to the video. Let's continue with boosters. Boosters are, of course, some of the most common items in every MMO in-game shop. And also here, there's a lot you can do wrong. In Warframe, boosters are available for doubling resources, resource drop chance, credits, and experience. Now, it's important to note here that boosters are never required in order to progress in the game. There will never be a point where you feel like you absolutely cannot progress without them, and I really appreciate that. So whether or not you want to use them in the first place is entirely up to your personal preference. That being said though, if you decide to buy a booster, be sure to only use those that'll provide the most value for your investment, the most bang for your buck. Every type of booster is sold in 3 variants: 3-day, 7-day, and 30-day, with the latter being of course the most cost efficient. But does it really make sense to always go for the longer ones? Let's start with resource boosters. If you only need one resource in specific, then go for 3-day boosters, get some Mountain Dew and Doritos, not sponsored by the way, and grind your eyes out for 1 weekend, and after that you'll be set. However, if you play frequently, having a long-term booster running in the background as you play is also a valid choice. Most standard issue resources are not farmed, but gained passively as you play. So having that booster on, even though not required, is still beneficial. Resource drop chance boosters can also be beneficial for dedicated farming runs, but be aware that they only affect drops from enemies and not from environmental containers or mission rewards. So better only use them in the 3-day variant for a specific farming session. It should also be mentioned though, depending on which resources you're farming, a drop chance booster might not even help you at all. If whatever you're going after already has a 100% drop chance, like Oxium for example, using a drop chance booster won't provide any additional benefit, so keep that one in mind. Credit boosters are pretty straightforward. Get a 3-day variant, grind hard for 1 weekend, and you'll make enough bank to set you up for a very long time. By the way, the credits that I currently am living off are still stemming from a 3-year-old credit farming weekend that I used to do with 2 friends back in the day. However, in contrast to resources, credits are best not farmed passively in the background. That's why longer-term credit boosters usually aren't worth it. The minuscule amounts of credits gained from enemy drops and mission rewards are absolutely nothing compared to what you get from a dedicated credit farm. And by the way, if you want to know how to make millions of credits really quickly, I'm planning to release a video on exactly this topic here soon. So if you don't want to miss that on day 1, maybe you want to think about leaving the channel a sub. Cheers for that! And lastly, affinity boosters. Affinity boosters for more XP gain are almost the same story as credit boosters. Collect a lot of gear that needs leveling, do an XP grind weekend with a 3-day booster, and that's it. Only exception here, if you're farming focus for your operator, that's usually a lengthy affair given the tight daily focus cap, so a longer term affinity booster will help you max out your daily focus faster for a longer period of time, making it a valid choice in this specific case. But alright. What we've talked about so far was all still pretty moderate. If you made a suboptimal choice here, it wouldn't have been the end of the world. But this changes now. Because now we look at offers that are so insultingly bad that I can see absolutely no reason why anyone would ever want to go for them. If you see that differently though, let me know in the comments down below. Anyway, let's talk resources, because Warframe sells all standard issue crafting materials for platinum as well. Let me get one thing straight here. I'm happy that you get enough resources from just playing so that you realistically never even have to think about buying them from platinum. But still, if you decide to do so, let's look at the numbers right here, shall we? By default, the smallest platinum package of 75 costs €4.49 and likely a similar amount of US dollars. Let's compare some of the resource prices. For example, you could get 450 Rubedo for 30 platinum. That's almost €2. And just by the way, Rubedo is farmable on Earth, the first planet in the game. Of course, with all resources, you could argue whether the price is justified given the time required to farm the same amount. But here's the thing. You gain enough standard issue resources passively as you play, and you have to do those missions anyway. So if you're really afraid you might not get enough, better go for a passive resource booster to accompany you than buying them from platinum directly. Or this one. This is actually my favorite. This bundle of 1 control module can be used for crafting items in your foundry. The bundle containing 1 item. Maybe I'm mistaken here. Google, what was the definition of the word bundle again? A collection of things or quantity of material. Quantity, collection, 1. Nah, I don't see any problem here. Alright, but jokes aside, I don't even want to be mean to DE or anything. They're a business. They do provide a valuable product, that being Warframe, and as such deserve to make money from it. My biggest criticism here is not the fact that resources are being sold directly, but how infuriatingly small the amounts are. If 1 control module was even close to being worth 10 plat, then my collection of them alone would be more than 25k in platinum. And with other resources, it doesn't look any different. For control modules, for example, it's not uncommon to run a 10-minute mission and gain over a dozen of them without even realizing. If you want to sell us resources, then give us a fair amount. 100 modules for 10 plat? I'd call that fair. I'd even buy that if I had the money but not the time to farm them. And the same goes for all the other crafting resources. So, long story short, do not buy them for these prices. You're burning valuable money. But what if you simply haven't unlocked the farming spots of all those resources yet, but you still want to craft a certain thing that requires them? Well, as I also pointed out in the video on the best beginner frames, just go to the recruit chat and ask somebody to bring you there. Just because you haven't unlocked a planet yet doesn't mean you can't get there. You only need a nice tenno in your squad to take you there. Problem solved. As you see, a lot of saving potential already. But to be fair, I think most of us quickly realize themselves that resources are not one of the things to be bought from real money. However, our next bad deal is more important for the game and thus purchased on a regular basis by a not insignificant number of players. As you might have guessed, I'm talking about credits and endo. No endo, no credits, no upgrading your mods, and without upgraded mods, you're weak. Also, farming both credits and endo is more complicated than your standard issue resource, especially for newer players, so why not just buy them? Actually, you can. If you don't have the setup yet to go for a super optimized endo farm, or you simply don't want to, you can go and just buy it. But please, and I beg you, please, not from the in-game market. I'll tell you why. On the market, you get 1000 endo for 50 platinum. You need around 30,000 endo to max out one single level 10 gold mod. That would be 1500 platinum, and that's not even including the 1 million credit you'd also need for that. If you were to purchase these from the market too at the provided rate at 45 plat for 170,000 credits, that would be another 250 plat on top. So only one maxed out level 10 gold mod would set you back 1,750 platinum, or in other words, more like $70. One level 10 gold mod. Do you know how many level 10 gold mods there are in Warframe? Do you know how many level 10 bronze, silver, and prime mods there are on top? This is madness! But if you simply can't farm all that endo, what else would you do? I'll tell you. Remember Warframe.market? You know, the unofficial auction house I mentioned in the beginning of the video? Well, guess what? Mods are also being sold there. Let's take Blind Rage as an example. Blind Rage is a very crucial level 10 gold mod used in almost every Warframe build. Sooner or later, you just need to have it, and at level 10. On Warframe.market, a level 0 Blind Rage sells for 12 platinum. The cheapest offer for a level 10 one, as of recording this video, lies at around 85. Meaning the 30k endo and 1 million credits necessary to get it from level 0 to level 10 accumulate to only around 75 platinum. Remember, buying all that from the in-game market would have been 1750. So, long story short, if you cannot or want not farm endo and credits, just go and buy the maxed out mods from other players. The saving potential here is unreal. And just in case you're interested in how to most efficiently farm endo in the game, I'll put a video on this exact topic up there in the info cards so you can check it out later. Again, no hate against DE, but I'd much appreciate it if some of these offers got a revisit to make them more attractive to actually buy. I'm sure the money earned through these super expensive packages is next to nothing compared to all the great Warframes, Prime Access Packs, cosmetics, and objectively good deals of which there's also no shortage. Just look at this one. A single Railjack costs 400 platinum, a single Necromech 375. But you do have a pack on offer including both a Railjack and a Necromech for just 465 plat. That's almost a 50% discount. Then there are the constant login bonuses on platinum purchases and market deals, so DE is clearly interested in offering us fair value for our money. They're not trying to rip us off or squeezing every single penny out of us. So DE, please, if you see this, don't be mad at me, and don't take the offers I mentioned out of the market either, but reduce the prices a bit, or alternatively, just give us a bigger bang for our buck. I'm sure many of us would be more intrigued to buy them then. But I don't want to make this video unnecessarily stretched out, so here are some more deals to be wary about in rapid fire mode. Elemental mod packages are a nice idea and not terribly overpriced like endo and credits, but also way cheaper on Warframe.market. 75 plat for all of them combined would be a very nice deal though. Transmutation cores. Don't buy them. I have 2,000 hours in this game and I have never used the transmutation function a single time. It's a relic from the past, you'll never do it, and you don't need these cores. Forma. One costs 20 plat, 3 35. Don't just buy one. You might look at your build and think, but I only need one more. That's because you're wrong. Also, the same with aura formas by the way. Anything else you want to add? Then let us know in the comments down below. As you surely remember, I mentioned Warframe.market and player-to-player trade quite often in this video. And these two things are absolutely essential for everyone who wants to be successful in Warframe, so I will upload a video on everything you need to know about trading Warframe, and as soon as it's up, I'll put it right here. If you don't want to miss it, leave a sub so you see it on the first day once it's published. We see each other, hopefully next time, and until then, as always, good loot.